So today I'm going to be talking about a very specific topic. It's kind of sort of personal to me because I went through it myself, and I was labeled, just to kick it off. I don't want to, not too much preface on this. From grades 9 to 12, I was labeled special ed. Now, anybody who's listened to me for any length of time could tell you that he's not special, but that's what I was labeled. Um, and that's what this video is about. When it comes to school districts, okay, I'm from Kansas City. I started my schooling in Texas in the eighth grade, right? So when they looked at my transcripts, they were like, such and such and such. I wasn't doing too good. I was lazy. That's basically what it boiled down to for me. I don't know about anybody else, but I was basically lazy, and I was in school drawing pictures and writing raps. That's what it boiled down to. But moving forward, I got into the ninth grade, and like I said, I moved down here before I got into the ninth grade, and they told me that some of my credits that I had earned in Kansas City did not translate in Texas. So there was an issue there. Along with that, my grades weren't good. They put me in special ed. And there is a specific reason, I think, why school districts, and let me tailor this to quote unquote good school districts, right? I'm talking about Plano, Texas. If you look Plano ISD up, which is probably about 15 minutes north of downtown Dallas. If you look up Plano ISD, it's one of the best school districts in the area, or it's labeled that. And I went back after time to actually look, and it actually is. But it was public school. All public schools, what I'm talking about. I didn't go to no other school but public school. Well, I take that. I take that back. I went to two alternative schools. I went to one alternative school in Kansas City because of some shit. Kansas City. I think I got truancy, and when I got down here, I did some dumb shit later on. I think I was in 11th grade, and I stole a laptop, and I got caught, and they sent me to an alternative school in Texas. But that's besides the point. Let's talk. I'm talking about special ed right now. I'm talking about special ed, but I'm trying to keep it linear, my conversation. So, yeah, ninth grade, and our schools here, they go ninth grade, 10th grade. That's one school. That's one school just for that. And 11th and 12th, that's another school. I went to Plano East. My graduating class was about 2,000 people. So my high school looks like a community college, basically, So just some little bit of context. But where's my I probably got white shit on my lips. Let me let me, let me do that. So yeah, when we talk about these being labeled special ed, and I'm not ashamed about this at all. That's why I'm making this video. But ninth grade to 12th grade, like as I said, I was labeled as special ed. Now, the one thing that I did notice going through this process was, of course, there was the kids who definitely were on the spectrum, wheelchair, however you see it, helmet, whatever. There were kids like this in my classes, but the overarching majority of the kids in these classes were brown and black. I'm gonna just say it like that. Now, when we talk about special education and putting it in the context of 11 and 12, keep that in mind. I mean, 11 and 12th grade, keep that in mind. Back to Plano ISD now. How I told y'all how Plano ISD was, it's sort of hailed as a great, one of the best school districts in Texas. Now, the reason why they can say that about themselves is because school districts look at graduation rates, right? So keep that in mind as well. Now, back to me being inside of a special education classroom. When I'm in a special education classroom and being in that system, I don't have to take certain classes to graduate. Like there's certain regulations and there's certain requirements in Texas as to classes you have to take to graduate. I didn't have to take those classes. I did not have to take the tax test, which is the exit test for the 12th grade for the seniors. They all seniors here, when I was here, they take, it's the Scantron, the little bubble shit. You take that to pass the class or to pass whatever, to get out of, to fucking graduate basically. So if you're putting a bunch of people in this class just because you feel like such and such, they special ed, put them all in this class, and then they won't have to even be included in these numbers that we show to the state. Because I didn't have to take the tax test, and that's what it was called, the Scantron test, the exit test. I didn't have to take it at all. Simply because I was labeled special ed, I did not have to take it. So do you see the correlation between them putting certain people in these classes and their numbers looking a certain way? It's because they're putting people in these classes who aren't necessarily special ed. And to be honest, when it comes down to it, you can talk all this, you can have a whatever GPA you want to. It's some people who graduated with honors making less than $100,000 right now. And the only difference between them and me right now is I ain't got no college debt. Like so that I said all that to say, do not be ashamed of nobody labeling you some shit when you know what you are. I knew I wasn't slow. I knew, anybody who's talked to me for more than 5 minutes, I'm not fucking slow. I excelled in certain things and I didn't excel in other things. But when it comes down to it, when I was at that age, I was high as a kite. I was higher than giraffe pussy, and I was just lazy. That's just what it boils down to, man. But when you look at the shit they was teaching me, how could I really just be interested? But I'm not here to get no excuses, man. I shouldn't have been in them classes writing them raps. I shouldn't have been in them classes drawing my doodles. I take accountability for that. I'm not trying to say that, blame everybody. It's not a blame video. I'm not blaming the Plano ISD or none of that. And I'm not ashamed about none of it. They got to do what they got to do to get their numbers. And it's just like that. So I'm going to get up out of here, though. I ain't got really nothing else to say. I will say this. Dr. Umar talks about special education a lot. And a whole nother topic I will say, before I get up out of here, I will say this. When it does come to special education and the kids who are diagnosed and given actual drugs. These are drugs. Ritalin, Adderall, these are fucking drugs. And kids are given these things at a young age. And it's like breeding a drug. It's like breeding an addict almost. It's like I don't understand it. Of course, there's the crazy cases of kids with hyperactivity. I understand, but I feel like it's something about that that I do not like, and I do appreciate my mother for the work that she did when it comes to figuring out, you know, seeing about me. In layman's term, my mama, she had to see about me. And the example of this is when I remember whenever this whole thing was going on, when I did get put into the special ed process of schooling, my mother actually took me to a psychologist. And I remember the psychologist up there on Campbell Road or something. No, not Campbell. It was over there like off 15th Street in Plano, up in this office building. I remember, and it was like a diagnostic type of thing where he was just asking me a bunch of questions and I was answering them. If I can remember, I think she may have went she left out. You know, I walked in with her and then he had told her to go wait, and then he asked me just a bunch of questions, and then she came back in and we left. And what came about was uh she was like, nah, he said you was normal. Like, so you know, I don't know, but I salute my mom for doing that due diligence, because you never know. And a lot of parents, some of this, like a term that I'm hearing a lot on social media when it comes to the conscious community and talking about the black youth, is you hear a term unchecked mental health. And she did her due diligence to see if there was some other outlier issues that was going on with me that was making me, you know, be lazy or be, you know, disengaged in schooling, or not caring if I had, because I wasn't the type, I never had just a ton of friends. I was kind of quiet. I've always been like that because I stay to myself type of thing. So check on your people, check on your kids, check on all of that, man. I don't, you know, these people is the mind doctors. Take your child to a mind doctor to see if they mind right. Like, you know, but I'm kind of rambling though. I'm gonna get up out of here. I'm not gonna cut the video off how I usually do because it's a serious topic. So I just wanted to say, definitely YJ, hit that like button one time for the one time. This been real, man. This been real. I'm gonna get up out of here.